Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be talking about ultimates, their charge rate, and why a coming adjustment making them charge slower is good for the game. Nano, nano, and more nano. Currently, it can feel like every teamfight has some sort of decisive ultimate interaction, and that is what they are designed to do, swing important fights. But let's be honest, they swing every fight pretty much right now, and that's because certain ultimates charge incredibly quickly, think Mei and Ana for example. They also snowball incredibly easily. The team that gets the advantage has a big chance of just rolling the enemy team because of that. There's many other factors as to why ultimates occur a little too often, and it's not just wonky charge rates on a few heroes. One major factor is because healing is better than damage currently. There aren't many viable range burst damage heroes. Widow is not good enough, Hanzo is too unreliable, McCree is pretty much it, and he has a pretty severe range limit to where he can realistically do enough damage in the short space of time required. Because of that, tank heavy setups are more viable as they can get healed from chip to full health with minimal Ana actions. Her burst healing is better than the burst damage available in most scenarios, and because of that, Reaper is almost required at this point to bust the 2 or 3 tanks you'll likely be facing. I include Roadhog in that simply because he has a tank's health pool. This is why on the PTR Blizzard are experimenting not only with ultimate charge rate nerfs, but buffs to Pharah and Soldier. They realise that the way the game is balanced, damage options are quite limited. There's also the fact that most offensive ultimates are terrible in comparison to support or tank ultimates. McCree, Pharah, Soldier, and even Reaper all have ults you can basically stop with minimal effort. There's no outplay options to a Mercy res when she's already pressed Q, you just have to hold that. Likewise, a well-timed Zenyatta Transcendence is something you just have to accept. I haven't even mentioned Nano yet, and that's perhaps the best example. In the pro scene, it's Nano, Bubble, Beyblade, or Bust. Let's compare. McCree has to stand virtually still for seconds at a time, can be slept, outright killed, or just plain hid from. Compare that to a hero that can turn someone else into a super soldier with increased damage, speed, and damage resistance. Doesn't really compare, does it? How can you outplay a Nano Beyblade with a Zarya bubble? You can't really, outside of a few miracle plays like Winston ulting it away or Ryan pinning it. Even the pros tend to mirror each other and just Nano Beyblade themselves, hoping to do it better than the other team. So how have we gone from a conversation about ultimates to one discussing healing versus damage? Well, it's simple really, because one is stronger, they can charge their ults quicker, and because they have better ults to begin with, then the game becomes more about that than anything else. Throw in the fact that a good Mei can have Blizzard for pretty much every team fight, and we can begin to recognise a pattern. Okay, full disclosure. All of this is, to a certain extent, opinion. On this channel we think the game is more interesting and varied when high skill cap heroes are weighted to be the strongest if you have and can exploit the right skill sets. We've long argued that Widow needs buffing, amongst others, to compete in these exchanges. But some people might see it differently. Some people might prefer a game that is more accessible for everyone to contribute a lot of value in. But I personally would prefer a game where the best players are rewarded and there's more room to be creative and perform amazing outplays. Now, I'm not saying that these things can't happen now. They can. And I still love Overwatch. Don't take what I'm saying as directionless negativity. But I do feel like there is room for improvement, and one of the biggest areas where that is true is in the ultimate mini-meta. Overwatch post-ult nerf. So in the world where everyone's ultimate charge is slower, and a few problem heroes like Ana and Mei are getting adjusted even further than the rest, what will the game look like? Well, for starters, tank-heavy setups will be weaker than they were before. That's largely related to Ana and her ability to burst heal effectively, and therefore build Nano incredibly quickly. If she can no longer build her ult as fast, this might mean that just tanking for Nano is inefficient, or at the very least, there might be some more interesting choices available. With Mei getting her charge rate nerfed hard as well, we might move past the situation where you have to push into a Blizzard and Nano on every attack. If there's less tanks, there will also be less Reaper, at least as a required hero. He's still going to be a good option, but that's what he should be, an option, not a necessity. A Beyblade will also not have the automatic speed boost anymore either, so more resources will have to be spent in the future to replicate what happens now as soon as Ana presses Q. Here's another thing to consider. If ults are themselves rarer, they become inherently more valuable the better you use them. The ult meta won't just go away. Rather, it will be improved so it requires synergy over spam. I like that change. A well-executed ult setup becomes a play in that context, not something that is inevitable given enough time. In this world, big ult combos won't be available as often, so people will have to manage their plays well. Teamfights where everyone's ults are up should be a rarity, not commonplace. Snowballing and rolling teams will become harder as the game shifts away from being ult dominant to skill set dominant. If more fights are won mostly on fundamentals like mechanics, positioning, and synergy, there are more chances for teams to fight each other very close, as big plays that can turn a fight will be the premium, even from a losing position. And here's the benefit that I most look forward to. Skill shot heroes will become way more important. If easy, devastating ult combos aren't spammable, then teams will have to rely on damage heroes like McCree, Widow, Hanzo, Tracer, and Pharah to focus down teams. That means damage options will become more varied, and that in particular will make Overwatch a better game. There is also the fact that with the addition of Sombra, there now exists more ways to circumvent powerful defensive ults. All of these changes combined should lead to a more varied and satisfying experience. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. If you want us to cover anything specific, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Also, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter. It's where you can find updates about new videos and streams. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time.